Hi Divas! I hope this video finds you well. Today we're doing my January reading wrap up.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
Let's get into it. I read 7 books this month. Am I okay? The first book I read was A Deadly Education from Naomi Novik. Mwah! This book was so delightful and also devastating and also creepy and also scary. This book is a dark academic fantasy where it's set in a magical school where literally the stakes are life and death, baby. I thought this book was really well written. I liked the story of Elle and how she's kind of an outsider and how she kind of pairs up with the hero, but she doesn't want him to be her hero. It's just really well done. I'm looking forward to reading the second book. I gave A Deadly Education 4 stars. The next book I read was Little Secrets by Jennifer Hillier. Whoa. I thought this book was going to be really hard for me because it's about a mother whose son is kidnapped and going through that whole journey of grief. But not only is that one of the wild things that happens in the story, there are just some secrets that are coming to the front of her marriage, and people are coming out of the woodwork as creeps. And whoa, this book, I was so sobbing, and this is just a big fear of mine coming to fruition. So reading about it was extremely tense, but what a journey. 5 stars! I read Pineapple Street from Jenny Jackson. This book was really interesting because it follows 3 different rich people and the way that they're navigating their relationships and their actual life, and is being rich actually worth it? At some times, it did feel like a lot of complaining about having money, and whoa, I think that I love the drama. I really liked all the drama that was happening in this novel. I gave it 3 stars. It was just kind of like Real Housewives type vibe. Like a lot of in-law drama. There's just also some scandalous topics like being in an affair. There's family dysfunction. Pretty good. The Lake of Lost Girls from Catherine Green. This was an amazing audiobook. I'm not usually an audiobook girly, as I say every single time I bring up this subject, but this audiobook slayed. I love that the setting's in North Carolina. It follows these girls that go missing from a North Carolina college, and it has the podcast aspect of like a true crime podcast following the crime, and then it's like whodunit, and then there's like a weird relationship with the dad where I'm like, oh, is this a little too far? But ultimately, I kept getting whiplash from thinking it's going to be someone, and then it's actually not. Catherine Green, you're very talented, and I was so excited to be reading your work. I gave this book 4 stars. I read The Teller of Small Fortunes from Julie Leong, and whoa, this is the best cozy fantasy book I've read to date. We follow Tal, who is a young small fortune teller traveling from village to village, telling small fortunes because the big fortunes can get out of hand. But along the way, she meets a couple of travelers that are on a quest to find a missing child. This book has everything. This is incredible. What an incredible novel. Can't you tell from the cover though? Yeah, I already knew. I cried, of course, and I just zipped through it so quick. 5 stars! Yeah. I'm a dragon girl. I'm a fantasy romance girl. I know a lot of people don't like this series, but I couldn't care less because if there's going to be dragons in a book, oh, I'm reading it. I'm sat. I'm zipping through it. And if there are people that are in love, even better. This book is the 3rd novel in the Empyrean series from Rebecca Yarros, Onyx Storm, baby. The pacing of this book was a little medium and then sometimes slow in some parts. I wish I would have done the reread of Iron Flame, but maybe even if I still did it, I'll be kind of lost. Sometimes I feel like the writing is not the best. That's okay, because I'm here for the vibes mostly. What I mean when I say the writing is not the best, I kept getting lost because I was confused. And if I'm getting a little confused when I'm reading something, even after I reread it, I don't know. That's just kind of what I mean. I love hearing about the dragons. Tairn just kind of makes me want to cry whenever he's being in his gentle talking to Violet, even though most of the time he's grumpy. We're back in with Violet and Xaden and the issue that they have going on. I like to see how grown up Violet has become in this book and her character development. I feel like she's really growing into a leader. I just love hearing about the companionship in her squad. I love hearing about the signets, all the different superpowers with the dragons. Of course, it's going to end on another cliffhanger that feels like a Yaros classic. 4 stars. And last but not least, I read Corrupt from Penelope Douglas as a palette cleanser, and I don't know if it cleansed my palette. It made me kind of be like this. I don't really want to say too much about this book because it's kind of like crazy. Anyways, it follows these rich people. In this story, we follow Rika, who just recently broke up with her boyfriend Trevor, but it's not like she had eyes for him anyways, because his older brother has always been who Rika had love in her heart for. And we just kind of follow that journey, but Michael's kind of mean, but he's got a soft heart, kind of. And then it just gets wild. And don't read this book unless you check the trigger warnings. And then also don't tell anybody I told you about this book. Promise? I gave it a 2.5 because there was some really spicy stuff in here, like really super spicy. But also I was just kind of like, what is happening at the end? Anyways, these are all the books I read in January. Thanks for sticking around, my sweet divas. Join the community. Bye!